Hi, everyone, and welcome once again to J. Doyle Field at East Brunswick High School. Gordy Deal along for the ride tonight. Hi, everyone, and welcome once again to J. Doyle Field at East Brunswick High School. I'm Gordy Deal, getting set for EBTV's coverage of Central Jersey High School football, a couple of Group 4 Titans, as the Panthers of Perth Amboy visit the East Brunswick Bears. One of the things we'll keep an eye on tonight is the dominance of underclassmen in this game, a couple of sophomores starting at quarterback for each club. For Perth Amboy, it'll be Brett Brown, the much-talked-about QB, and on the East Brunswick side of the football, it'll be number 1, Mark Mariski. We'll keep an eye on the two underclassmen and see how they perform as the regular season gets set to wrap up for both clubs. We'll take a look at the starting lineups next. We'll take a look at the starting lineups in just a moment. It is Parents' Night tonight here at J. Doyle Field. We get a look at the senior players, senior athletes, and their parents. Kind of final farewell here on the final regular season game of the 2000 season for Marcus Borden, the head coach, and his troops. See, the cheerleaders have created a type of gauntlet there along with the mascot. Senior athletes and their parents will walk through to the applause of the crowd and to the pom-pom shaking of the cheerleaders. And the first one through is Scott Anderson with Mr. and Mrs. Anderson. And there comes Scott. Louis Arnice and his parents. Eric Brownstein with Mr. Mark Brownstein. Jason Carbone with Ralph and Jean Carbone. All sporting their East Brunswick Bears attire. John Chu, along with Mr. and Mrs. Chu. Now it's Karen Franzoni with Marlo and Phyllis Franzoni. One of the outstanding seniors on this club, James Gagnon, with Mrs. Magretto. Coming through now, Chris Iafalise with Mrs. Iafalise. Next through is the wideout, Matt Kolbeck with Gwen and Ed Kolbeck. Followed there by Lisa Mineta with Karen and Bob Mineta. A lot of these names you'll be hearing during the game as well. Number 5 is Mike Marrero with Lynn and Mike Marrero at his side. Next through is Giovanni Mendez with Mr. and Mrs. Mendez. Proud night for the parents. Senior Parents' Night 2000 here at East Brunswick High School. The big tight end, Greg Nagy, accompanied by Mrs. Zeman. Frank Panulo making his way through now with Frank and Mary Jane Panulo. Steve Pachalski is next with Laura Pachalski. Both wearing the 64, the big fella. That's Scott Reese next with Mr. and Mrs. Reese. Second to last is Dan Sauvigny, the center for the ball club, 6'1", 195. It's easy to pick him out. He's accompanied by Maureen and Donald Sauvigny and Lori McElroy and Antonio David. And last but not least, Stephen Schwartzer with Mr. and Mrs. Schwartzer. We wish them all well on Senior Parents Night 2000 here at J. Doyle Field. Starting lineups are next. Take a look at those starting lineups. We'll start things off with Perth Amboy, and we'll start with the Perth Amboy offense. At tackle across the front line, number 69, Rodney Reyes. The guard, number 54, Anthony Hanau. The center will be number 56, Ed Hernandez. The guard is number 58, Manny Nunez on the right side, and the right tackle is 74, Oscar Lopez. The quarterback, number 5, Brett Brown, a 6', 185-pound sophomore. The split end is number 8, Juan Cabrera. The tight end is number 12, Reggie Clark. The running backs, number 32, Marcos Eusebio, and number 4, Andre Grayson, each with 17 carries last week. So they do like to spread the wealth, and quarterback Brett Brown is not quite the developed passer that they're looking for. Again, he's only a sophomore. He's more comfortable running the football right now. And the flanker will be Gerald Lampley. East Brunswick will counter on defense with its 5-3. Left defensive end, number 59, Jay Carbone. Left defensive tackle, number 61, James Correa, just a freshman at 5'11", 264. The nose guard, number 72, Mike McCarthy. Right defensive tackle, number 76, Frank Panulo. And the right defensive end, number 65, Eric Brownstein. The outside linebackers, number 5, Mike Marrero, and number 27, Brian Ackerman. Ackerman just a sophomore. The inside linebacker, the seasoned number 42, James Gagnon. The cornerbacks, number 36, Bobby Mineta, number 21, John Chu. And the free safety is number 4, Chris Iafalise. Captains getting set to take the field for Perth Amboy. Number 2, Keith Rackett. Number 12, Reggie Clark. Number 32, Marcos Eusebio. Number 56, Ed Hernandez. Number 58, Manny Nunez are the captains for the Panthers. Captains for the Bears, number 76, Frank Panulo. Number 5, Mike Marrero. And number 42, James Gagnon. As we wait for the captains to make their way to the center of the field for the coin toss, let's take a look at the reverse starting lineups and the East Brunswick offense, in which we'll see that option and E-bone attack. Across the offensive line, the left tackle, number 52, Ryan Schmidt. The left guard, number 59, Jay Carbone. Number 78, Dan Sauvigny is the center. The right guard, number 76, Frank Panulo. And the right tackle, number 74, Brian Acciani. The quarterback is number 1, Mark Mariski, just a sophomore, 5'8", 139 pounds. The wideout, number 41, Matt Kolbeck. The tight end, number 89, Greg Nagy. The halfbacks, number 5, Mike Marrero. Number 36, Bobby Mineta. And the fullback is number 42, James Gagnon. The Perth Amboy defense, which is a base 50. The 5 of the front line, number 59, Brian Reyes at one defensive end. On the other side is number 51, Mike Montalvo. The defensive tackles, number 88, Jason Eves. And number 74, Oscar Lopez. And the nose tackle is number 32, Marcos Eusebio. The inside linebackers, number 24, Eric Salvari, and number 56, Eddie Hernandez. The cornerbacks, number 2, Keith Rackett, and number 4, Andre Grayson. The free safety, number 10, Andre Rivera, and the strong safety is number 11, Sergio Soto. A lot of seniors on the Perth Amboy lineup, but they do have a couple of sophomores thrown in, 3 on the starting defense. And when you throw in the fact that the offense is led by Brett Brown, you can understand maybe why Perth Amboy comes in with a record of 2-5 on the season. But by the same token, 3 of those 5 losses have been by a total of 4 touchdowns. So Perth Amboy has been able to compete, but they haven't come up with a lot of luck, and they don't have a lot of wins to show for it either. East Brunswick comes in with a mark of 1-6. East Brunswick coached by Marcus Borden, and Perth Amboy is coached by Carl Grillo. Captains at midfield now, getting set for the coin toss. They shake hands and exchange pleasantries on this gorgeous Friday night for early November. Players getting their final instructions. East Brunswick in the home green jerseys with white numerals, white pants with the green striping. and white helmets with green trim. Perth Amboy in the way, white jerseys, red numbers, white helmets, white pants with the red trim. East Brunswick has won the toss, and the Bears have chosen to receive, and they will defend the goal to your left. And the quarterback, Brett Brown, his first touch of the ball will actually be with his feet because he will handle the kickoff duties for Perth Amboy. Mentioned a couple of other fall sports items. Congratulations and good luck to the girls gymnastics team here at East Brunswick High School. The girls are GMC division and conference champs and go after a sectional title on Saturday. Girls volleyball will play their state game on Tuesday versus Wayne Valley at 12 o'clock. And Brian Donovan will compete in the state group championship Saturday at Homedale Park in cross country. And a reminder that the Thanksgiving game has been moved to East Brunswick High School at 11 o'clock. Thanks to the basketball club for running the refreshment stand tonight as well. Don't forget to support the advertisers in the program, and thank you too to the first aid squad. So the Panthers make their way onto the field. Brett Brown, number 5, flips the ball to the official. And Brown will handle the kickoff duties, as mentioned before. Deep for East Brunswick, set to receive, number 5, Mike Marrero, and number 36, Bobby Mineta. So Brown will tee things up at the 40-yard line. He appears set, his ball club appears set, and we are ready to go here at J. Doyle Field at East Brunswick High School. Perth Amboy against East Brunswick in a GMC Red Division matchup. And here's Brown's kick. It is high and it is end over end, and it is fielded at the 10-yard line by Mike Marrero. Marrero across the 20, pops 3 at the 30 and squirts across to about the 34-yard line, and good field position for East Brunswick to open things up on their initial drive of the ball game. Spotted at the 34 and bring out the East Brunswick offense, led by their sophomore quarterback, number 1, Mark Mariski. From East Brunswick, we'll see the option and the E-bone attack, and that'll do battle with Perth Amboy's base 50 defense. That's Marrero in motion, number 5. Mariski calling signals, and the pitch is too long for Bobby Mineta. Ball loose on the ground, and Mariski able to come up with it. An inauspicious start for East Brunswick. They get moved all the way back to the 24-yard line, a loss of 10 on the play. So the option pitch to start things off didn't go well. Mariski calling signals now on a 2nd and 20. Rolling to his right, looking, throws deep downfield, and it is just over the outstretched arms of number 21, John Chu, who was the starting quarterback earlier in the season. So it'll bring up a 3rd and 20 for East Brunswick. A solid return of 24 yards on the kickoff by Mike Marrero. Got his club out to the 34-yard line, and first play of the game was a pitch that went for a fumble, went past Bobby Mineta. Mariski had to track it all the way down to the 24-yard line. Now the incomplete pass, and now a 3rd and forever for the Bears, working from the left hash. That's Mineta in motion. Mariski on a keeper. Mariski is drilled inside on a good defensive play. Now some pushing and shoving, but a good tackle on the play by one of the captains for Perth Amboy, Marcos Eusebio, who plays in at nose tackle, and East Brunswick is forced to punt. Three-yard pickup on the play. By Mariski on the carry. Brent Dunbar, the East Brunswick punter. And a fair catch is signaled by Perth Amboy. Right at about midfield is where Andre Bavera handles the punt. And the Perth Amboy offense, which plays out of the pro set I. We'll spot the ball at the 47-yard line. And here comes Brett Brown and company. Brown, the sophomore quarterback, is built like a truck. 6 foot, 185 pounds, and only a sophomore. Brown with the handoff. It goes straight up the middle to Andre Grayson, and Grayson gets near midfield, maybe picked up 2 to about the 49-yard line. Perth Amboy going conservative on its first play of the game. Last week for Perth Amboy, Andre Grayson and Marcos Eusebio each with 17 carries in a ground attack for Perth Amboy. So give Grayson 2 on his initial carry. It'll bring up a 2nd down and 8 for Perth Amboy. From their own 49-yard line. Brown's going to throw it, looking to his left. And a pass is complete across midfield to about the 45-yard line to Juan Cabrera. Cabrera, the 6 foot, 185 pound senior. To the East Brunswick 45-yard line. It's a gain of 6 on the play. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 4. So Perth Amboy enters EB territory. Brown calling signals on the 3rd and 4. The handoff. Going around the right-hand side for Grayson. He's got speed. Turns the corner and dives forward for the 1st down out near the 40-yard line. Good pressure that time by Chris Iafelice in his initial attempt to slow down Grayson. Actually going to mark him at the 39-yard line. And that's close enough to measure, but before they actually bring the chains out, the official signal it's a 1st down. It's a gain of 6 on the play for Andre Grayson. And it's a 1st and 10 Perth Amboy. Sorry, make that the 41-yard line on the gain of 4. And trouble on the snap as Brown able to fall on the loose ball. Loss of 2 on the play to the 43-yard line. It'll bring up a 2nd down at about 12. And the handoff again to Grayson, and he is shut down by Frank Panulo. Panulo saw it the whole way and just closed the hole, and Grayson had nowhere to go. And Perth Amboy suddenly finds itself going backwards. Back to the 48-yard line after a loss of 5 on the play. Brown calling signals. I formation behind him on the 3rd and long. Left-hander's going to throw it. Running himself. He likes to run it. And he dives forward after being knocked down by James Gagnon. It's not going to be enough for the 1st down. He's well shy. And we'll see what Amboy decides to do here. Only made it back to about the 42-yard line. A pickup of 6 on the play for Brett Brown. Perth Amboy will punt. Keith Rackett on, number 2, to do the punting for Perth Amboy. Deep for East Brunswick is number 36, Bobby Mineta. Fair catch is signaled by Mineta. And he makes the catch at about the 15-yard line, and that's with the Bears will set up camp, 1st and 10. So considerably different field position for East Brunswick than their initial drive, in which they started at their own 34 after the good kickoff return to start the game. And now they are pinned back at their 15-yard line. Mark Mariski calling signals on the 1st and 10 from the 15. Handoff straight up the middle. And not much doing for Jimmy Gagnon. Who was wrapped up initially by Jason Eves, the defensive tackle, and the nose tackle, number 32, Marcos Eusebio. And another carry straight up the middle, and not much doing there as well. Mike Marrero, the ball carrier. Marrero actually able to move it out to about 23-yard line. Gain of about 8 on the play. It'll be a 3rd down and about 3. And Mariski calls timeout. East Brunswick wants to talk things over on a 3rd and about 3. Just under 5 minutes to go, first quarter, no score. Perth Amboy against East Brunswick. East Brunswick on its 2nd possession, a 3 and out on the opening drive, after some decent field position following the kickoff return by Bobby Mineta. So the Bears break huddle after getting some instructions from head coach Marcus Borden. And we'll see if Marcus has up his sleeve for his troops as they face a 3rd down and about 3 from their own 23-yard line. Mariski calling signals. Handoff goes to Marrero, and Marrero has enough for the 1st down. Marrero out to the 27. It's a pickup of 4, and he'd be in business with its initial 1st down of the game. Tackled by Perth Amboy's number 24, Eric Salvari. We see Chris Iafalise check out of the game for East Brunswick. 1st and 10, fresh set of downs for Mark Mariski. Mineta in motion. Mariski on the keeper, tripped up on a good defensive play by number 10, Andre Rivera. Ball to the 31-yard line, gain of 4 for Mariski, who's got 2 carries for 7 yards. You see Matt Kolbeck and John Chu check into the game as Greg Nagy checks out for EB. Chu will line up wide right. That'll be Kolbeck, who goes top of your screen wide left. 2nd down and 6. East Brunswick on its 31-yard line. Mariski under center calling signals. Fakes the handoff to Gagnon. Handles it himself. And it stopped as he tried to get around the left-hand side by number 32, Marcos Eusebio. And out to the 34-yard line for a gain of 3 goes Mariski. Boy, it's hard to miss number 99 for Perth Amboy on the line. Frank Toledo goes 6'2", 320 pounds. And more first down yardage for East Brunswick as Bobby Mineta takes the handoff and gains enough yards before he's knocked down by Mike Montalvo. All the way out to the 40-yard line. Pickup of 6 on the play for Mineta. His first carry of the game. So another first down for the Bears. That's 2 on this drive already. Full house backfield. Mariski calling signals on the 1st and 10 with Chu wide right. The handoff goes to Gagnon with room. Jimmy Gagnon trying to turn the corner, breaks a couple of tackles across the 50, across the 40, and finally knocked out of bounds by Keith Rackett. But not before Gagnon breaks into Perth Amboy territory and takes it all the way to the 35-yard line. Huge gain on the play of 25 yards for Jimmy Gagnon. Third first down of this drive for East Brunswick as they move the chains and suddenly have found some momentum on offense. John Chu goes to the top of your screen. He's wide left. Here's the handoff to Marrero, takes an initial hit, bounces forward and wrestles his body forward to about the 31-yard line. Gain of 4 for Marrero to the 31. Marrero's got 3 carries for 16 yards already. Chu checks out of the game. Matt Kolbeck re-enters for EB, and now Marrero comes out in favor of Aya Felice. Second down at about 6 from the Perth Amboy 31. East Brunswick threatening here with just under 2 minutes to play in the first quarter. Still no score. Offset eye for Mariski. 2 men wide left. Mariski with a long count, fakes the handoff, is hit initially and now is dropped after a 1-yard gain and a late flag on the play after the tackle. We'll see what the officials are going to call. It'll be a holding penalty against East Brunswick. So Mariski was able to fall forward to the 30 for a gain of 1. The holding penalty will be from the spot of the foul, and we'll see where that sets back EB. Goes all the way back to the 41-yard line. EB needs to get to about the 25. Now a fumble on the snap. Perth Amboy claims they recovered. No signal yet from the official. And it is Perth Amboy football. So a turnover after East Brunswick seemed to be putting together a pretty solid drive, and the turnover cost the Bears. And Perth Amboy will take over from its own 40. Minute 20 left to play, opening quarter, still no score. Panthers break huddle and come to the line. 1st and 10 from their own 40. Big sophomore Brett Brown at quarterback calling signals. I formation in the backfield. Handoff to Eusebio up the middle. And he fumbled it, and East Brunswick has it back. East Brunswick will take over on the Perth Amboy 45. Well, if East Brunswick can sustain the momentum that they had on the last drive, in which they drove about 55 yards before coughing the football up, they might be in good shape. Mariski wants to throw, looks over the middle. It's caught initially and then knocked out of the hands of Chris Iafalise on a good defensive play that time by Perth Amboy. And coming up to make the play, the free safety Andre Rivera, who was able to separate Chris Iafalise from the football. Mariski 0 for 2 throwing the ball now, and it'll be a 2nd and 10 for EB from the Perth Amboy 45. Minute 6 to go, first quarter. Iafalise at the bottom of your screen is wide to the right-hand side. And the handoff straight up the middle. No gain on the play for Mike Marrero. Mike Montalvo for Perth Amboy, the defensive end, 5'8", 180-pound sophomore, was able to snuff the play out and hold Marrero to no gain. Maybe gained half a yard. Call it a 3rd and 10 still for EB from the 45. Manetta in motion. The fake handoff, play action. Mariski throwing downfield, has Iafalise, and it is in and out of the hands of Iafalise, but a sparkling defensive play that time by the strong safety Sergio Soto, the sophomore, who came up and punched the ball free from Iafalise. Otherwise, Iafalise had first down territory and maybe more. But a nice defensive play by the strong safety Soto, and Perth Amboy dodges a bullet after a costly turnover. And East Brunswick will be forced to punt. There's the punt. And it goes out of bounds inside the 20-yard line, so a good job by Brett Dunbar. And they'll spot the ball right at the 15-yard line. So Perth Amboy does well to get itself out of a bit of a jam here in the first quarter. They turn the ball over in their own territory after getting the ball by causing an East Brunswick turnover. Each team with 1 turnover apiece, and 12 seconds to go in the opening quarter. Still no score. 1st and 10 Perth Amboy from its own 15-yard line. The sophomore quarterback, Brett Brown, under center. Calling signals. Backs in the I formation. He's going to throw it. Looks to his right, fires incomplete. In and out of the hands of Juan Cabrera. 2nd and 10. Brett Brown 1 for 2 passing on the night. Perth Amboy has been content to run the football so far, and they've got a couple of good running backs. And number 4, Andre Grayson, as well as number 32, Marcos Eusebio. Brown to throw again, looking to his right again. This time he hooks up with Cabrera, and Cabrera has first down yardage out to the 30-yard line. Now we have come to the end of the opening quarter of play here at J. Doyle Field with the score 0-0. Switch ends of the field, and Perth Amboy will have a fresh set of downs. 1st and 10 from the 30 after the pickup of 15 on the pass completion from Brown to Juan Cabrera. Brett Brown now 2 for 3 for 21 yards.
kind of been feast or famine for East Brunswick on offense so far. Their initial drive of the game, 3 and out. Perth Amboy was able to march from its own 47 to the East Brunswick 42 before it had to punt. So a total drive of only about 11 yards. East Brunswick got it back and drove from its own 15 all the way to the Perth Amboy 31 for a penalty followed by a fumble. Perth Amboy got it back, and on its initial play after the turnover, coughed the ball up back to East Brunswick, and then East Brunswick went 3 and out again and had to punt, and that's where we are right now. Perth Amboy with the football, 1st and 10 at its own 30-yard line as we get set for the initial play of the second quarter. Brett Brown, a terrific athlete at quarterback, has a great arm, but is not a great passer. Hasn't quite developed the skill yet. Now he's sacked and dropped for a big loss as Jimmy Gagnon came crashing through the Perth Amboy offensive line and dropped Brown after the big gain. Back to the 25-yard line, a loss of 5 on the play. It'll bring up a 2nd down and 15. Amboy breaks huddle. Keith Rackett toward the left-hand side of your screen. He is wide right, and Cabrera lines up wide left. They fake the handoff on the play action, and it is Brown who elects to keep it. Knocked down by Jay Carbone. A gain of 5 on the play to the 30-yard line on the keeper by Brett Brown. Brown with 2 carries for 11 yards on the night. And it'll bring up a 3rd and 10. This will be an important play defensively for East Brunswick. With a stop here, they can get the ball back in decent field position. Backs of the I formation on the 3rd and 10 for Brett Brown and company. Brown will throw, looking to his right, throws over the middle, nobody anywhere near it. The closest man was Juan Cabrera. And after that, it was John Chu for East Brunswick who had a better chance of catching the ball than Perth Amboy. And the Panthers will have to punt. There's the stop Marcus Borden was looking for from his defensive core. And EB will get the ball back in what should be pretty decent field position. Bobby Manetta and along with Mike Marrero drop back to receive the punt from Keith Rackett. Be the 2nd punt of the night for Rackett. And it was nearly blocked. And it's fielded right at the 40-yard line by Mike Marrero, and East Brunswick has decent field position, 1st and 10 from its own 40, with 10:15 to go here in the first half. So Mark Mariski, the sophomore quarterback, makes his way to the huddle to relay the play. Mariski passing so far 0 for 2 on the night. Jimmy Gagnon 2 carries for 25 yards, and one of those carries was for 0 yards. So kind of a gaudy 12.5 per yard carry. 12.5 yards per carry, I should say. 1st and 10 for the 40. They fake the handoff. Mariski now the pitch to Marrero. Marrero driving forward, lowers the shoulder. Takes on big Keith Rackett and does well to pick up 5 yards on the play. Gain of 5 for Marrero. Marrero to the 45-yard line will bring up a 2nd and 5. The pads were popping that time as Marrero lowered his shoulder and knocked shoulders with big Keith Rackett for Perth Amboy. Mariski calling signals on the 2nd and 5 with 2 men in the backfield. That's Marrero in motion. Handoff straight up the middle to Gagnon. And Gagnon is stopped after a gain of about a yard. Then he was thrown backwards, but they'll give him a yard out to about the 46-yard line. We'll bring up a 3rd and 4. gain of 1 for Gagnon. That gives him 3 carries for 26 yards. And again, one of those carries was for 25. 3rd and 4 for Mariski and company as they break huddle. That'll be John Chu, top of your screen, number 21. It goes wide to the right-hand side. Nobody to the near side. 3 men in the backfield for Mariski. On a 3rd and 4. Mariski dropped the football after the fake handoff to Gagnon and fell on it. Got back to the original line of scrimmage. In the neighborhood for Perth Amboy, Anthony Hanau, who had a shot at the football, but Mariski able to dive back on it. No gain on the play, and Brett Dunbar back to punt for EB. Two punt returners for Perth Amboy this trip. Andre Rivera, number 10, and number 11, Sergio Soto. Snap is low. Dunbar drops it, does well to get a quick kickoff. Ball bounces at about the 35, and that's where it'll be touched and down by Frank Panulo. And Perth Amboy will get it back at its own 35-yard line. So here comes Amboy, 1st and 10 from its own 35 with 8:05 to play here in the second quarter. Brett Brown calling signals. The pitch goes to Andre Grayson running around the right-hand side, has some room. And is knocked out of bounds on the near sideline. After a pickup of about 2 to the 37. Andre Grayson, who has shown some good speed tonight, only has 4 carries for a total of 1 yard. Maybe a gain of only about 1 on that last trip and not 2. 2nd down and 9. Brown to throw it. Looking long, has a man wide open, and it is out of the outstretched hands of Juan Cabrera, who had broken free from Bobby Mineta and Chris Iafelice. He had slipped behind the secondary and was open, but Brown could not connect. And it'll bring up a 3rd down and 9. Brett Brown now 2 out of 5 passing the ball for a total of 21 yards. 3rd and 9. Panthers break huddle again. Sergio Soto wide to the left-hand side. Near side is Keith Rackett with backs in the I formation. Brown drops back under heavy pressure, dumps it off. It is caught at the initial line of scrimmage and then dropped right there. And East Brunswick able to make the solid stop. Ball gets marked out to about the 38-yard line for maybe a gain of about 1 on the play. And Perth Amboy will be forced to punt on the 4th and long. Keith Rackett again deep to punt. Bobby Mineta, Mike Marrero set to receive. There's the punt by Rackett, and it's a pretty good one. Fielded at the 30 by Marrero. Who was able to get it up to the 35-yard line. East Brunswick takes over, 1st and 10 from its 35. 6:54 to go, second quarter, still no score. Mariski, the sophomore, in at quarterback. The handoff to Mineta. Running off right tackle, has some room. Mineta across midfield, he's gone. Mineta 40, 30, 20, 10, 5, touchdown East Brunswick. And we are no longer scoreless after the 65-yard touchdown run by Bobby Mineta. Almost untouched for 65 yards. Terrific run and great blocking up front. East Brunswick draws first blood. They lead 6-0, and Brett Dunbar is on for the point after. Ball is spotted, the kick is up, and the kick is good. A line drive through the uprights, and East Brunswick is on the board and leading 7-0 with 6:41 to go in the first half. So after the 65-yard run by Bobby Mineta, how about this? He now has 2 carries in the game for 71 yards and a touchdown. And Dunbar will kick off for EB as well. This will be his first kickoff of the game. Keith Rackett, one of the deep men, along with Juan Cabrera for Perth Amboy. An electrifying 65-yard touchdown run by Bobby Mineta has put East Brunswick on the board. And a win here today would be a nice morale booster for some of the younger players who are getting a shot to show head coach Marcus Borden what he might be able to look forward to next season. Here's the kickoff by Dunbar. It's a line drive squib kick. It's fielded by Rackett. Rackett with room around the left-hand side. Rackett still on his feet across the 40-yard line. Rackett finally run out of bounds at around midfield by Greg Nagy. And a huge return by Rackett and Perth Amboy with terrific field position, trying to answer a score by East Brunswick. Spot the ball at the 48-yard line, so the Panthers with good field position. 6:27 to play, second quarter, trailing by 7. Brett Brown, the sophomore quarterback, leads his troops back on the field. We mentioned Brown is a fairly imposing figure at quarterback for Perth Amboy. Again, only a sophomore, but 6 foot and 185 pounds. The handoff to Grayson, and he's dropped by the linebacker, Jimmy Gagnon. Another fine play, and Grayson a little bit shaken up on the play. Seems to be favoring his left arm as he heads across the sideline to maybe get the trainer to have a look at it. Back to the 45-yard line goes Amboy on a 2-yard loss after a tremendous defensive effort by Jimmy Gagnon. -2 on the play, and now 5 carries for a total of -1 yard for Andre Grayson, the speedy Perth Amboy halfback. Backs in the I formation on the 2nd and 12 rather. Thrown across the middle, and it goes incomplete to Gerald Lampley, number 19, who was wide open across the middle, but Brown unable to hook up with him. And the passing game has not been particularly good for Brown tonight. 3 for 7, 22 yards. Spoke with Carl Grillo, the head coach, before the game, who said that right now Brett Brown is essentially a tremendous athlete who's playing quarterback, has a great arm, but he's not a great passer. Hasn't quite developed the touch yet, but they think he's going to be a good one. Lampley this time lines up wide right. Is near the bottom of your screen. Brown fakes the handoff, is buried on the play, dumps it off, and it's in and out of the hands of Lampley. And it'll bring up a 4th down for Perth Amboy, and a spirited East Brunswick defense forces Perth Amboy to punt. Brown under all kinds of pressure. He's now 3 for 8. Good defensive pressure by the Bears that time, and Keith Rackett will be on to punt once again for Perth Amboy. .5:36 to play, second quarter. East Brunswick leads at 7-0 on the strength of a 65-yard touchdown run from Bobby Mineta. Rackett to punt. Mineta and Marrero are the deep men. Here's Rackett's kick. And it's out of bounds on the far sideline. Right at the 30, it looks like. Yeah, we'll call it the 31 since it's actually off the hash. 1st and 10 EB from the 31. The Bears come to the line, 1st and 10 from their own 31. Full house backfield for Mariski calling signals. The handoff goes to Mineta. And Mineta across the 35 to about the 37-yard line, a gain of 6 on the play. Mineta now with 77 yards rushing on just 3 carries, but again, the bulk of that, the 65-yard touchdown run. Matt Kolbeck checks out of the game for the Bears. John Chu is in. Ball out to the 37, following the 6-yard run by Mineta. It'll bring up a 2nd down and 4. Chu lines up wide left. The handoff this time goes to Marrero. Look out. Marrero across midfield. Marrero across the 40 to the 30. And he's finally run out of bounds at about the 25-yard line. But not before. Another huge gain for East Brunswick. And this one a pickup of about 37 yards. Ball is spotted at the Perth Amboy 26-yard line. Another huge run for East Brunswick. This time the ball in the hands of Mike Marrero. 37 yards on the pickup. And this time straight up the middle for Bobby Mineta, who's wrapped up by the 320-pound lineman Frank Toledo. You might feel that tomorrow morning after being tackled by the guy that size. Ball is spotted at the 21-yard line, so it's a pickup of 5 for Mineta. Mariski calling signals on the 2nd and 5. Again, 3 men in the backfield. The handoff to Mineta, or is it Marrero? It was Marrero on the carry, who got across the 20 to about the 19-yard line, a pickup of 2 on the play. Bring up a 3rd down and about 3. Marrero now with 60 yards rushing. Ball spotted just inside the 20-yard line, and East Brunswick has called timeout on a key 3rd down play. So some gaudy rushing statistics for some of the East Brunswick players. 7 carries and 60 yards for Mike Marrero. 4 carries, 82 yards for Bobby Mineta. And 3 carries, 26 yards for Jimmy Gagnon. And 25 of those 26 yards for Gagnon came on 1 carry. So Gagnon has had a 25-yard run. Mineta has had a 65-yard run for a touchdown. And Marrero has had a 37-yard run. Spreading the wealth in the East Brunswick backfield tonight. They've got a 7-point lead to show for it and looking for more with 3:22 to go in the second quarter, and a third down at about 3 on the Perth Amboy 19-yard line. Bears return to the field after the timeout. Need to get to about the 16-yard line. Ball is spotted just inside the 20, not quite to the 19, so it'll be a long 3, maybe 3.5 yards. Mariski calling signals with 3 men in the backfield. From the 19, here's the handoff, a fake handoff. Mariski on the keeper dives forward. He looks a little short, maybe only got to about the 17-yard line. So a pickup of only 2 on the play from Mariski to the 17. And it's a 4th down and 1. And EB will go for it. You're looking at about a 34-yard field goal attempt if they were to try it. They're going to go for it on the 4th and 1. A quick handoff straight up the middle to Mineta. I'm not sure he made it. It'll depend on the spot. And it is going to be a 1st down. Actually able to see through all the bodies. You can see that he made it by a good half a yard. He's almost, actually, we'll call him to the 15-yard line. So a pickup of 2 on the play for Mineta and a clutch run on a 4th down and 1. He was able to get 2. He's now got 5 carries for 84 yards. East Brunswick has a fresh set of downs, 1st and 10 on the Perth Amboy 15. Mineta in motion. Handoff to Jimmy Gagnon straight up the middle. Gagnon stopped by Marcos Eusebio. Gagnon picked up 2 on the play to the 13-yard line. Bring up a 2nd down and 8. East Brunswick can get a 1st down without scoring. They need to get to the 5. Here's a handoff to Mineta. Running off right tackle, and he's stuffed there. Not much doing for Mineta that time. Mark him forward to about the 11. So a gain of 2 for Mineta, who now has 86 yards on the night. And an injured East Brunswick player. We'll get a look from the head trainer, Phil Hostler. One of the staples here at East Brunswick High School, by the way. Terrific guy, really knows his stuff. Minute 11 left to go, second quarter. Little programming note coming up at halftime, by the way. As senior night continues, we saw the senior football members before. That was Mineta who came out of the pile after the handoff. Appears to be favoring his right leg a little bit as he comes to the sideline under the guidance of Phil Hostler. I'll give you a quick halftime programming note in just a moment. We'll honor the senior cheerleaders along with the band members and their parents, and it's a long list. We might need more than the traditional halftime to get through this. Clock is running again as we wind our way toward the end of the first half. Minute to play in the opening half. It's a 3rd down and about 6. Mariski on the keeper. Looked like a broken play, and he's decked in the backfield by Marcos Eusebio. Late flag on the play, though, as he was thrown back to the 20-yard line. A loss of about 9 on the play, but we'll wait and see what the call is. Hold everything. It was was right as Eusebio was making the tackle. It appears to be against Perth Amboy. Might have been a face mask, and indeed that's what it was. Actually, the referee pointed toward East Brunswick. And now he changes the call and says it indeed was against Perth Amboy. So Eusebio must have got some fingers on the mask of Mariski as he brought him down. Those unintentional face masks, it's only a 5-yard penalty. That'll put the ball. And East Brunswick has called timeout. Wind up spotting the ball on the 14-yard line. Bring up a third down at about 9. EB needs to get to about the 5. And again, it is senior night here at J. Doyle Field. We'll honor the cheerleaders at halftime, senior cheerleaders, as well as the senior band members. There's about 400 of them or so, and we'll see them and their parents at halftime and honor them for the great work they've done during the high school years. 40 seconds to go, second quarter. East Brunswick would love to punch one more in before halftime. They lead at 7-0 on the strength of a 65-yard touchdown run by Bobby Mineta. 6:41 to go in this quarter. So a third down and 9. East Brunswick following the timeout breaks huddle. John Chu goes wide right. 2 men in the backfield for Mariski. Quick count. A pitch to Marrero, who's going to throw it. Looking in the end zone. Marrero, it is intercepted in the end zone. And a touchback for Perth Amboy. Number 11, Sergio Soto, came up from the strong safety spot and made the pick on a trick play out of the bag of tricks of Marcus Borden, but it backfired. Marrero throws the interception, and Perth Amboy gets it back on its 20. Second turnover of the game for East Brunswick. So with 32 seconds left to play in the second quarter, we'll see what Perth Amboy decides to do with the waning seconds of the second quarter. East Brunswick has to be disappointed after a drive that started at its own 31-yard line after a good defensive series. They got the ball on their 31, marched all the way to the Amboy 11-yard line before a penalty and then the interception. Brett Brown calling signals from the 20. The big QB back to throw. Looking downfield, throws to his right, and it's too far for number 21. And I'd be happy to tell you who number 21 is, but he's not listed on the roster. In fact, that's the second pass intended for him today. So officially, he will be known as number 21. So it's a 2nd and 10 for Amboy. 6 seconds off the clock. Clock is stopped on the incomplete pass. Brett Brown again under center. Keith Rackett wide to the right-hand side. Again, the throw downfield, and it's intercepted by Matt Colbeck at midfield. Colbeck across the 40. Colbeck across the 30 to about the 29-yard line, and suddenly East Brunswick is going to have one more crack at it with 14 seconds to go. Second turnover of the game by Perth Amboy. Tenth pass attempt of the game by Brett Brown is an INT. He's 3 for 10 for 22 yards. So the passing game not there for Perth Amboy tonight. And they spot the ball at the 29-yard line. See what East Brunswick can do. 14 seconds left. Mariski rolling to his left, looking for room. Turns and fires. It is caught by Gagnon at the 20, and he's tripped up with 4 seconds to play. East Brunswick hustling to get to the line because I don't believe they have any timeouts left. Ball is spotted at the 14. And Mariski spikes the ball to stop the clock, and they'll get one more shot at it with 1 second left. So it's a 15-yard catch by Gagnon. Mariski now 1 for 3 for those 15 yards, passing for the night. And they're going to bring Brett Dunbar on to try the field goal of 31 yards. The kick is up, it's got the distance, and it is good. A 31-yard field goal by Brett Dunbar to end the first half, and East Brunswick has taken a 10-0 lead on some very good clock management and a fortunate turnover. So after a fairly quiet first quarter, East Brunswick puts 10 on the board in the second quarter, and they lead at halftime 10-0. And we'll have some of our halftime festivities as we continue with senior night in just a moment. And we'll say congratulations first to our senior cheerleaders. Tiffany Aguiar and her parents, Doreen and Joseph. First ones to go through the cheerleader gauntlet, if you will. Second through is Daniela Fishman, along with her mom, Isabella. Next through is Luba Gulyeva and her parents, Nick and Luda. Jessica Horowitz and her parents, Alan and Colleen Cool. Jillian Lawanda, along with her parents, George Lawanda and Edie Friedman. Jill Miller and her parents, Tony and Glenn Miller. Making their way through too, Jen Plumser, along with her parents, Alan and Diane Plumser. And Katie Shearer and her parents, John and Melanie Shearer. And the bear is David Kirshner, along with his parents, Ronnie and Richard. Time now for the senior band members. Band under the direction of Mr. Kish. Colleen B is the first one through. Colleen escorted by the band director, Mr. Kish. Then it's Melanie Boley and her parents, Karen and Mitch. Matthew Brittar and his parents, Giselle and Howell. Laura Bersese with her parents, Carmela and Rocco. This is Dennis Bruno with his parents, Nancy and Dennis Bruno Sr. Next is Amy DeLuca. Her parents, Kathy and Richard. Then it's Michael DeLucia with his parents Marie and Michael. Next through is Julia Durpedrosian with her parents Janine and James, carrying the sacks while mom handles the flowers. Christine Fenn is the next one through, escorted by Jesse and Jack. This is Matt Casero with his parents Maria and Russell. This is Jill Goldman, escorted by Helene and Joe. Adam Greenberg is next. He's with Bess and Bruce. To say hello now to Eric Gross, who's with Carol on his right and Marty on his left. Then Stephen Klein with his parents Edith and Arthur. And it's Louise Kogler along with Suzanne and Ed Tobias and her sister Barbie and Aunt Lori. I don't think I read that right. I have lines mixing together. That was Lori Kramen who came through with her sister Barbie. Evan Lerman with Priva and Luis. Jennifer Ogan with Donna and Bernie. This is Andrew Pfeffer. On each side of him, Mara and Jim. Get a look now at Mark Rogel, escorted by Heidi and Charles. Coming through now is Jill Rosenthal with Donna and Seth. Here comes David Schlossberg with Shelley and Ken. Parents are all smiles on nights like tonight. Senior night here at East Brunswick High School. We saw the senior football team members. Then it was senior cheerleaders. We get a look at Carrie Siegel with Elise and Allen. And now it's the senior band members. Daryl Simbre with Mary Lou and Leonardo. Now through is Aaron Tarnow with Lynn and Eric. Three more to go. This is Julia Vargas with Donna and Ed. Elise Y with Michelle. And last but not least, Matthew Windsor with Mary and Bill. And there you have your senior band members and their parents. Let's take a look at some of the halftime statistics from the first half of our game between Perth Amboy and East Brunswick. Take a look at EB first. The leading rusher was Bobby Manetta, who carried 6 times for 86 yards plus a touchdown. Mike Marrero was next. He had 7 carries for 60 yards. Jimmy Gagnon, 4 carries for 28 yards, and the quarterback Mark Mariski had 4 carries for 12. Mariski passing the football 1 for 3 for 15 yards, the one catch made by Jimmy Gagnon. In terms of Perth Amboy statistics, not impressive. The quarterback Brett Brown had 2 carries for 11 yards. Marcos Eusebio did not carry the football in the first half. And Andre Grayson carried 5 times for -1 yard. Passing the football, Brett Brown 3 out of 10 for 22 yards and an interception. One of the big catches was made by Juan Cabrera for 15 of those 22 yards. Right now, it's a 65-yard touchdown run by Bobby Mineta and a 31-yard field goal by Brett Dunbar. That's the difference. 10 points in the second quarter, and East Brunswick leads Perth Amboy at halftime by the score of 10-0. As we start the second half with East Brunswick holding a 10-0 lead over visiting Perth Amboy, the visiting Panthers will receive the second half kickoff from Brett Dunbar. East Brunswick has used the big play to strike a 65-yard run from scrimmage for a touchdown from Bobby Mineta, a 31-yard field goal off a turnover. Actually, check my stats, I think that was an interception by Mineta as well. Actually, it was an interception by Marrero. So Dunbar will kick off. Juan Cabrera, Keith Rackett are the deep men. It's a short kick. Cabrera's in the neighborhood. It bounces off his chest. He drops it momentarily and is able to break free and spin up to the 40-yard line. So he turned nothing into something and he got up to the 40. And that's where Perth Amboy will set up 1st and 10 for its opening drive of the second half. Brett Brown, the sophomore quarterback, he's a big guy under center. At 6 feet, 185 pounds. Again, he's only a sophomore. He's described by his head coach, Carl Grillo, as a great athlete with a great arm, although he's not a great passer yet. Still developing that phase of his game. So Brown comes under center, backs in the I formation. 2 men wide to the left-hand side, and Juan Cabrera is wide right. Brown from the shotgun. Change that. I said I. He's in the shotgun. Throwing over the middle. Look, the ball was tipped. It's caught by Gerald Lampley, who's got first down yardage out to the 45-yard line of East Brunswick. A gain on the play of 15 yards. And Brown now 4 for 11 and 37 yards. 1st and 10 from the East Brunswick 45. 2 men wide left, 2 are wide right. Again, the shotgun, and it's a new quarterback in the game. Throwing over the middle, it's complete to Cabrera. More first down yardage to the 31-yard line. The new QB is Andre Rivera, also one of the defensive backs. And it's a first down to the, we'll call it the 30-yard line. So another 15-yard pickup on the play, this time by Cabrera. And now Brown is back in the ballgame. Brown back to throw from the shotgun. Loads of time. Now he's flushed out and knocked out of bounds. So Brett Brown had all kinds of time. Couldn't find anybody open. And gets knocked out of bounds, and we have a flag on the play. Appears to be against Perth Amboy, and it is. A holding call against the Panthers. So the line of scrimmage was the 30. We'll see how badly the holding call sets the Panthers back. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. 10:44 to go, third quarter. East Brunswick leads this one by the score of 10-0. The ball goes all the way back to the 46. So Perth Amboy loses 16 yards on the play. And it is now a 1st and 26. 2 men wide left, 2 wide right. And again, Rivera back in from the shotgun. Rivera under pressure, throws over the middle. It is caught by Keith Rackett. Rackett breaks 1 tackle and slips out to about the 41-yard line, where he is finally touched down by Brian Ackerman. Pickup of about 5 on the play. And again, Andre Rivera comes in at quarterback and takes a snap from the shotgun and completes a pass. So they pick up a 5 on the play, and Rivera's 2 for 2 with 20 yards. Second down at about 21. From the 41. Who's in a QB this time? It's Brett Brown who's returned to the lineup. Brown from the shotgun this time. Ackerman in pursuit. Throws. Pass is intended for Cabrera. Mike Marrero in the neighborhood offering coverage. The pass goes incomplete, and it's third down at 21. So Perth Amboy comes out throwing from the shotgun. And a costly holding penalty has been the problem so far on this drive. It's third down at 21. You see that Andre Rivera has come back into the lineup. And they've kind of got this flip-flop system going of alternating your shotgun quarterbacks. Andre Grayson stays in to protect Andre Rivera. That's number 4. And a flag on the play. It looks like East Brunswick might have jumped off sides. And offsides on East Brunswick look like James Correa, the big freshman, came barreling across the line a little too soon. Correa, the only freshman on the field tonight. Big kid, 5'11", 264. Getting some action. Marcus Borden trying to get guys like Correa ready for next season. A lot of coaches will tell you, whether it be on the high school or college level, that the best thing about freshmen is that they become sophomores. The third down, not as long. It's a screen to Cabrera. Cabrera very close to getting back to the original line of scrimmage, which was the 30, after yet another complete pass from Andre Rivera. Ball is spotted at the 31-yard line, so it's a gain of 10. And Rivera has found some success throwing the ball out of the shotgun. That time the quick screen to Cabrera. He's now 3 for 3 and 30 yards. Rivera, the senior. Now the officials have called time. It'll be a fourth down and 10. And one of the East Brunswick players with an apparent equipment concern. I think that was Jimmy Gagnon. Now the clock moves again with 9:05 to play here in the third quarter. East Brunswick still leads this one 10-0. East Brunswick defense looking for the big stop here on a 4th and 10. Brett Brown returns as quarterback and will operate from the shotgun. They go with the sophomore on the big 4th down play. Under pressure, takes a hit, and the pass is caught for a first down. Inside the 5-yard line, down about the 2. And Cabrera again comes up big for Perth Amboy. So a gain of 29 on the play. Flag on the play, although the pass was complete for a touchdown. We'll see if it's not brought back. Flag was thrown on the near sideline. And it's a procedure call against Perth Amboy, so the touchdown will not count. .15 to go, third quarter. backed up to the 8-yard line after the 5-yard penalty. Be a 1st and goal from the 8. And Andre Rivera is in at the shotgun. And this time they give a delayed handoff to Grayson, who marches right up the middle and in for an 8-yard score. Well, they came out throwing from the shotgun, throwing. And this time they ran it straight up the middle, and Andre Grayson has an 8-yard touchdown run. But we have yet another flag on the play, and this one may come back too. Dead ball personal foul on Perth Amboy. The touchdown will count. An 8-yard touchdown run by Andre Grayson has put Perth Amboy on the board. With 8:08 to play in the 3rd quarter. And they'll be penalized for the point after. Seven-play, 60-yard drive for Perth Amboy. And on for the lengthy point after is Jason O'Neill. The ball is down. The kick is up. And the kick is no good. Wound up being a medium-range field goal from the distance rather than a point after. Technically it was a point after, but it wound up being more like a mid-range field goal. So 8:08 to play 3rd quarter. East Brunswick leads it by the score of 10-6. Still a good bit of football left to play, and this one has gotten a little bit tighter than it was at halftime. Perth Amboy marched down the field 60 yards in 7 plays. Opening drive of the 3rd quarter. Knocked almost 4 minutes off the clock. And we'll see how East Brunswick answers this challenge when they get the ball for their first possession of the 2nd half. Chris Iafalise and Mike Marrero are the deep men. Set to receive the kickoff from Brett Brown. Perth Amboy totally changing strategy, coming out throwing the ball like wild in the 3rd quarter from the shotgun position. And not only that, they were rotating quarterbacks. Brett Brown, who started the game, was alternating plays with Andre Rivera, who went 3 for 3 and 30 yards on that drive. And it was Rivera who handed the ball off to Andre Grayson, who ran straight up the middle for an 8-yard touchdown run to give Perth Amboy 6 points. Here's the kickoff. It's a long one, and it's fielded at about the 5-yard line by Marrero. He's going to bring it back. Marrero across the 20, 25, and finally knocked down. All the way out to the 28-yard line. East Brunswick sets up 1st and 10. Some of the East Brunswick players have some gaudy rushing statistics. Not the same for Perth Amboy. Andre Grayson, who just scored that touchdown, 6 carries for a total of 7 yards and the touchdown. 1st and 10 EB. Mark Mariski in a quarterback. The handoff straight up the middle to Jimmy Gagnon. Gagnon gets to 30 for a gain of 2 on the play. Jimmy's got 5 carries and 30 yards now. 2nd down and 8. Clock continues to move with 7.5 to go. 3rd quarter. East Brunswick in control for now. 10-6. East Brunswick looked a little bit shaky on defense on the opening series for Perth Amboy in the 3rd quarter. At the start of the 2nd half, when Perth Amboy went to the shotgun. Now we'll see how East Brunswick answers. Handoff up the middle for Jimmy Gagnon again. He's across the 35 to the 37-yard line. Gain of 7 for Jimmy. And it'll be a 3rd and 1. Ball at the 37. Bears need to get to the 38. Gagnon and Marrero, 2 men in the backfield. That's Chu in motion. The handoff to Gagnon, barreling forward, has enough for the first down. In fact, he's across the 40, out to the 42-yard line. Actually, they'll mark him to the 41, so give him a gain of 4 on the play, and Gagnon's been the workhorse here. Now 7 carries and 41 yards. .6:10 to play, 3rd quarter, 1st and 10, first fresh set of downs for East Brunswick. 2 men in the backfield, that's Gagnon and Marrero, number 42 and number 5 respectively. Handoff again to Gagnon. Stop shy of the 45. And they mark him to the 43, so we'll give him credit for 2 on that play. 8 carries and 43 yards for Gagnon, is just grinding it out right now, running straight up the middle. Clock moves. 5.5 to play, 3rd quarter. And the handoff that time to number 27, Brian Ackerman. First carry of the game for Ackerman. Ball is spotted at the 48, so it's a gain of 5. And Perth Amboy has called timeout. Ball is spotted on the EB 48-yard line. Need to get to the Perth Amboy about 48, so it's about a 3rd down and about 4. A couple of other fall sports notes. On Sunday, the girls' soccer team goes after its 22nd consecutive GMC or county title. Game time is 12 noon at Geick Park in Old Bridge. The girls' soccer next state tournament game is on Tuesday, November 7th at 2 o'clock at Hunterdon Central Regional High School. And good luck to the girls' cross-country team in next week's group championship at Homedale Park. Boys soccer team ended its season today at 14-4-2 after a 2-0 loss in the state sectional playoffs. Just under 5 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Brian Ackerman on the carry for EB, lost a yard, and it'll bring up a 4th down. Ackerman lost one back to the 47-yard line. It's a 4th down and 5. Ackerman checking with the sidelines, runs back into the huddle now, and Dunbar is on to punt. Sergio Soto and Andre Rivera are the deep men for Perth Amboy. Getting set to receive Dunbar's punt. Lots of time. And it's fielded at the 30-yard line, and a fair catch is made by Andre Rivera. So Perth Amboy now will embark on its 2nd possession of the 3rd quarter. On its last drive, they went 60 yards in 7 plays, and Andre Grayson dashed in from 8 yards out to put Perth Amboy on the board for the first time in the game. Let's see if Perth Amboy goes back to that shotgun and tries to stick with it and tries to continue to confuse the East Brunswick defense. Brett Brown is the quarterback, and in fact, he lines up under center. Keith Rackett in the backfield, along with Andre Grayson. Here comes Gerard Lampley. An odd formation to the left side for Brett Brown, who's going to throw. It's a quick screen, caught by Rackett. Rackett forward to about the 34-yard line. Jay Carbone in the stop for EB. So 4-yard pickup on the play. And it'll bring up a 2nd down and 6. Andre Rivera back in at quarterback, goes to the shotgun. Rivera looking, throws to his right. It's caught by Juan Cabrera, looking for a block, tries to squeeze away from a shirt tail tackle by Mike Marrero. And Marrero holds on for dear life and does well, because that slowed down Cabrera enough for his teammates to come over. Chris Iafalise among those helped make the tackle, and Iafalise is injured on the play. He's slow getting up. He's the one just now getting to his feet. It's a 1st down for Perth Amboy. Out to the 43-yard line. A gain of 9 on the play. And Andre Rivera seems to have the touch at quarterback for Amboy. Every time he's come in, he's completed a pass. 4 for 4. And 39 yards. Now the officials have called time. Quick equipment adjustment for East Brunswick. And now it's Brett Brown in at the shotgun quarterback spot. Brown takes the snap. Brown back to throw over the middle, in and out of the hands of Gerard Lampley. I don't know where else Brown could have put it for Lampley to catch it. Coverage on the play that time by Eric Schloida, who was in the neighborhood, but that ball was right in the breadbasket of Lampley, and he just dropped it. 2nd and 10 for Amboy. Brett Brown now 6 for 14, 70 yards. And it's 2nd and 10 from his club's 43. Need to get to about the East Brunswick 47. Rivera back in for the shotgun job. Hasn't missed a pass yet. Rivera back to throw. Quick screen. In and out of the hands this time of Juan Cabrera. His first miss. Pass was thrown low, although Cabrera got his hands on it. Probably should have come up with the catch. Might have heard footsteps. It's a 3rd down. Be a 3rd and 10 from the 43. Rivera's first miss, and he's now 4 for 5 for 39 yards. From the 43-yard line, it's a 3rd and 10. Perth Amboy in need of a 1st down here. They trail by 4, 10-6. Time winding down in the 3rd quarter. Again, Brown this time from the shotgun. Under heavy pressure from the blitz. It's complete to Grayson at the 45, still on his feet. Across midfield and very close to a Perth Amboy 1st down. A good job by Andre Grayson to do something after making that catch. Finally brought down by Jimmy Gagnon. They're going to mark him to the 48, and he's about a yard shy. There's a gain of 9 on the play. Clock moves with 2:10 to go, 3rd quarter. East Brunswick getting itself set for a big 4th down play, 4th and 1. And Perth Amboy is going to punt. And And did they stop it from being a touchback? And it's going to be a touchback. And Perth Amboy almost pinned East Brunswick deep, but EB will get it 1st and 10 from its own 20. So Perth Amboy threatened, but unable to do anything really on offense. Forced to punt the ball away. East Brunswick takes over from its 20 with 1:47 to play, 3rd quarter. EB still leads this one by the score of 10-6. A gorgeous early November Friday night here at J. Doyle Field at East Brunswick. Hand off to Gagnon up the middle. I'm sorry, Gagnon the lead block that time. Mike Marrero on the carry. Marrero up to the 22-yard line. Gain of 2 for Marrero, who's got 62 yards on the night. Clock moves with 1:15 to play, 3rd quarter. 2nd and 8. Mark Mariski calling signals. 2 men in the backfield. Fake handoff rather. Now the pitch. Bobby Mineta dragged down after about a 3-yard play, got out to about the 25-yard line. One of the 4 captains for Perth Amboy, number 56, Eddie Hernandez, makes the tackle for the Panthers. And it'll bring up a 3rd down and about 5. Ball is actually just beyond the 25-yard line. They fake the handoff, and Mariski is dropped in the backfield by Keith Rackett. Lost a yard back to the 25. And we have come to the end of the 3rd quarter. An 8-yard touchdown run by Andre Grayson on Perth Amboy's opening drive of the 2nd half has drawn Perth Amboy to within 4, but East Brunswick still leads it by the score of 10-6. It'll be a 4th and 5 when we resume play on the other side of the field for EB, whose leading rusher right now is Bobby Mineta, 7 carries, 90 yards. Keep in mind, 65 of those 90 yards came on 1 touchdown run, his 2nd carry of the game. Even if you take away the 65 yards and factor in the rest of the carries, he's got 6 carries for 35 yards, which is still almost 6 yards carry. So Mineta has done well when the football's been in his hands tonight. Jimmy Gagnon has carried 8 times for 43 yards, so they've really spread the wealth, and Mike Marrero 8 times for 62 yards. Almost 200 yards rushing. Marrero's got 62. Plus Mineta's 90, has 152, plus 43 is 195, plus Mariski's 12. Puts you at 207, and Ackerman's got 4 yards. 211 yards rushing tonight for East Brunswick. Still only lead by 4 as we get set to play the final 12 minutes. 4th down and 5 brings out Brett Dunbar to do the punting. And Perth Amboy set to get the ball in pretty good field position as Sergio Soto lines up at about midfield, set to receive it. Soto just a sophomore, 6 feet and 170. And here's the punt. It's a good one. A fair catch called back at the 42-yard line, maybe the 43 for Sergio Soto. And Amboy's got some decent field position as they try to close in on that 4-point deficit. Call it the 42-yard line for Perth Amboy. 1st and 10. Panthers break the huddle. Let's see what they do with this alternating quarterback slash shotgun scenario. It's going to be Brett Brown, and he is in the shotgun formation. 2 men wide left and 2 are wide right, including the favorite target of the night, Juan Cabrera, who's widest to the right. And it's a delayed handoff this time to Grayson. Scampers forward. Grayson across the 45 and across midfield with room. 45, 40, 35, 30. Here goes Grayson across the 20, at the 10. Touchdown, Andre Grayson. They used the pass to set up the run, and Grayson has cashed in twice, this time for a 58-yard touchdown run, and Perth Amboy has taken the lead. Second touchdown of the night for Andre Grayson, and it's a big one. With 11:38 to play in the game. First play of the fourth quarter. And East Brunswick trails for the first time tonight. And Andre Grayson, who had a woeful first half rushing the football, has now given his team the lead with 2 touchdowns here in the second half. Jason O'Neill on for the point after for Amboy. Brett Brown will hold. There's the snap, the hold. The kick hits the left upright and is wide left. So East Brunswick trails by 2, 12-10, as the point after fails. And we've got ourselves a nail biter with 11:38 to play. 12-10 Perth Amboy. Andre Grayson in the first half had 5 carries for -1 yard. In the second half now, he's got 3 carries for 66 yards. So his total on the night, 7 carries, 65 yards, and the touchdown. So East Brunswick now has its work cut out for it. Lots of football still to play, virtually a whole quarter yet. East Brunswick will need some of that second quarter magic here to regain the lead. Brett Brown will kick off for Perth Amboy. Bobby Mineta and Mike Marrero are the deep men for EB. Bears trying to win their second game of the year, giving a lot of the underclassmen opportunities to play, get set for the 2001 season. The kick comes to Mineta inside the 10-yard line. Mineta across the 20, 25 on his feet across the 30 to the 32-yard line. Another nice run back by Bobby Mineta, and that's where EB will start off 1st and 10, trailing by 2 with 11:30 to go here in the fourth quarter. Mark Mariski, the sophomore and a quarterback, will try to rally the troops. His team trails by the deuce. 1st and 10 EB at the 32. Senior night here at J. Doyle Field. Matt Kolbeck, bottom of your screen, wide left, 2 men in the backfield. John Chu is wide right. Mariski to throw, has some time, now under pressure, runs away from 1 tackle, lines up and throws downfield. It's out of the reach of Greg Nagy. And it'll be 2nd and 10. First pass attempt of the second half by Mariski. He's now 1 for 4. The only other pass thrown by East Brunswick tonight was a trick play. Marrero threw it, looking in the end zone for a score, and it was picked off late in the first half. John Chu this time lines up bottom of your screen, wide left. Full house backfield on the 2nd and 10. Mariski calling signals. The handoff to Gagnon, straight up the middle. Jimmy across the 35 to the 36-yard line. Well, Markham to the 37, a pickup of 5 on the play. 9 carries, 48 yards now for Jimmy Gagnon. John Chu out of the lineup, Matt Colbeck back in. 3rd down and 5. Big spot right here for the Bears. Still on their own end of the field and trailing by 2. Colbeck goes wide right. Again, 3 men in the backfield. Manetta, Gagnon, and Marrero. Mariski under center. They go to the fake ball to the senior, and it's a 1st down carry for Mariski. Big time play by the sophomore quarterback. A much needed 1st down. And Mariski out to the 48-yard line. A gain of 11 on the play when they needed the 5. So good job by Mariski. Did well to hide that ball. We were obviously screened on this side. He did a good job of faking it to Gagnon, who went straight up the middle. Drew a couple of tacklers, and Mariski sprinted to the outside to pick up 11. So a 1st and 10 from the 48. Again, Mariski fakes the handoff to Gagnon, keeps it himself, and is just whapped right at the line of scrimmage. And there'll be no gain on the play that time for Mariski. So it'll bring up a 2nd and 10, maybe even lost half a yard. Clock moves with 9:30 to play in the ball game. Critical drive here for EB. They send 2 men wide to the left-hand side. 2 men in the backfield, 1 wide right. Mariski drops back to throw under all kinds of pressure from Keith Rackett. Ball pops up in the air. And they're going to say it was a fumble, not an incomplete pass. Manetta comes up with it, and Bobby Manetta gets knocked out of bounds near the original line of scrimmage at about the 48-yard line. Wind up picking up actually about half a yard on the play and get back to the original line of scrimmage. Busted play from the start. Keith Rackett got his hand on it. And the ball popped free. Manetta scooped it up and ran. And Manetta is slow to get up on the near sideline. In fact, Manetta is lying on his back, being looked at by Phil Hostler, the trainer. 9:07 to play, 3rd quarter. Actually mark it as a loss of 1 on the play. Manetta is up on his feet gingerly. It's a 3rd down and 11 for EB from the 47-yard line. And Mariski calls timeout. East Brunswick wants to talk things over. Crucial play on this drive. EB trails by 2. 9:07 to go in the ball game. And a 3rd down and 11 with the ball at its own 47-yard line. Marcus Borden will talk things over with his troops. They want to deliver on the big 3rd down spot they did last time on a 3rd and 4. Mariski faked the handoff to Gagnon and ran it 11 yards himself. But since then, they have not been able to muster much with the running game. East Brunswick led this game 10-0 at halftime. Perth Amboy on the strength of 2 touchdown runs by Andre Grayson. 1 in the 3rd quarter on the opening drive, an 8-yard run, and 1 on the first play of the 4th quarter of the 58-yard variety. Both point afters failed for Amboy, and they lead at 12-10 with 9:07 to play. Last time in a big spot, they tried a trick play with Marrero throwing the ball, and it got picked off in the end zone. John Chu lines up bottom of the screen to wide left. 1 man is wide right. Mariski's going to throw, rolling out to his right, and it's complete to Marrero, but he's shy of the 1st down. got to the 43-yard line. No, it's a pickup of about 9 on the play. Still 2 yards shy. And a big spot right here, 4th and 2. EB's going to go for it. Mariski under center, calling signals. The handoff to Ackerman, who was hit at the line of scrimmage and dropped by Keith Rackett. And East Brunswick turns it over on downs. Well, they went to the sophomore running back that time to try to pick up the first down. And Keith Rackett came up with a big defensive play for Perth Amboy, and the Panthers get it back with 8:14 to go, leading by 2. Actually, no gain that time. And Perth Amboy will take over on its own 43. So the defense will again have to come up big. Brett Brown at quarterback for Perth Amboy from the shotgun. Complete to Juan Cabrera. Cabrera at midfield to the 49-yard line, where he's wrestled out of bounds there by Mike Marrero. Actually, he's not out of bounds. They say he's still in. Marrero with a good tackle. They exchange sportsmanlike pleasantries, and the clock moves with 7:50 to go. They spotted at the 49-yard line, so it's a pickup of 6 on the play. For 16, 85 yards for the Perth Amboy quarterback, Brett Brown. 2-man wide to the left-hand side. And now it's Andre Rivera in at quarterback again, and this time under center for the first time. And he hands it off straight up the middle to Andre Grayson, who's met almost instantly by Matt Colbeck and Jimmy Gagnon. To the 47-yard line of East Brunswick goes Grayson. It's a pickup of 4 on the play. Grayson now 8 carries, 69 yards, plus the 2 touchdowns. And it's close enough to measure with 7:17 to play. Interesting that Perth Amboy would come out throwing on a first down when there's a risk of an incomplete pass stopping the clock. And it is a first down for Perth Amboy. So Amboy gets a fresh set of downs. East Brunswick defense will have to stiffen up again and see if they can come up with another big stop and get the ball back. $7:17 to go. And the quarterback du jour is Brett Brown, and he will operate from the shotgun. 2 men wide left and 2 men wide right. Brown from the shotgun with Grayson there to protect. Brown looking, throws left, and it's caught by Cabrera, and he's gone. At the 10, at the 5, touchdown Juan Cabrera. He juggled it initially and was able to reel it in. And Juan Cabrera, 47 yards on the touchdown reception, and Perth Amboy has now scored 3 straight times. It's now at 18-10 Perth Amboy. So the one-time 10-point lead for East Brunswick has evaporated and has turned into an 8-point deficit for the moment, with the point after coming up. Three plays, 57 yards on the drive for Amboy. 6:59 to go. Jason O'Neill is on for the point after. Boy, Perth Amboy is doing everything, not only rotating quarterbacks, but rotating holders. Andre Rivera, the backup quarterback, is on to hold for the point after. And it doesn't work. It's wide right, so O'Neill misses again. Third straight point after miss for Perth Amboy, and I wonder if we have a flag on the field. I don't see any laundry. It looks like the officials are just telling the guys maybe to calm down. Either way, the point after is no good. It is 18-10 Perth Amboy. First touchdown pass of the night for Brett Brown, who is now 9 of 17 for 142 yards. He's got the touchdown and the interception. And Andre Rivera, his backup, the senior who has come in for several plays from the shotgun, is 4 out of 5 for 39 yards. So Brett Brown getting set to kick it off again. Mike Marrero and Bobby Mineta, the deep men. They could use a big return on this. East Brunswick forced into a position now of scoring a touchdown and needing to add the 2-point conversion just to tie. They led this game 10-0 at halftime, and they now trail at 18-10. Here's the kickoff by Brown. It is a beauty. All the way into the end zone for a touchback. Don't see that too often in high school. Brown drills it out of the back of the end zone, maybe feeling some extra excitement off the touchdown pass, and we've got a flag on the play well away from where the ball landed. Might have had some guys involved in some extracurricular activities. Wait and see what the official rules here. Unsportsmanlike conduct on East Brunswick will be the call. That will, I believe, take the Bears half the distance. They go from the 20 to the 10-yard line. So 6:59 to play. East Brunswick needs a big drive right here. Risky under center, drops back to throw, looking over the middle, but the ball is batted down by big number 99, Frank Toledo for Perth Amboy. Biggest guy by far on the field, maybe the biggest guy in the stadium. 6'2", 320 pounds. And he is twice the size of many of the other players out there. I tell you, Mariski, the East Brunswick quarterback, 5'8", 139 pounds. He's about, Toledo's about 2.5 size the times of Mariski. On the 2nd and 10, Mariski under all kinds of pressure and is dropped near the goal line. And one of the captains for Perth Amboy, Carlos Eusebio, in on the sack. And it's a 3rd down, and things have really unraveled for East Brunswick here in the second half. We see Mike Marrero checking the lineup, number 5. He replaces John Chu, who comes hustling off the field. Ball is spotted on the 3-yard line, so it's a 7-yard loss on the play. And the ball carrier is Marrero. Goes across the 10 to about the 12-yard line for a pickup of 9. And it's a 4th down and about 8. And Brett Dunbar is forced to punt. 5:20 to play in the game. Dunbar's punt is fielded by Soto. Soto on the run back. Right back near the red zone of East Brunswick. Ball inside the 30 to about the 27-yard line. So Perth Amboy in good shape field position-wise once again. .508 to play. Perth Amboy leads us 18-10. Andre Rivera in at quarterback from the shotgun. And the handoff to Andre Grayson. He was grabbed by Jay Carbone almost immediately after the handoff. No gain on the play that time for Grayson, who's got 9 carries for 69 yards, plus 2 touchdowns. Now 4.5 to play in the game. East Brunswick needs the ball back. Perth Amboy threatening again. Brett Brown returns at QB. He also operates from the shotgun. Brown wants to throw. Looking over the middle, it's caught by Cabrera. Breaks free of 1 tackle, breaks free of a 2nd tackle, and Cabrera goes in for his 2nd touchdown of the night. Brett Brown is once again hooked up with Juan Cabrera for a big score. This one of 27 yards, and it's now 24-10. So after a very unimpressive first half, Perth Amboy decided to go to the shotgun in the second half, and it has worked wonders for Carl Grillo and his team. Brett Brown, the starting quarterback for Perth Amboy, his numbers at halftime: 3 for 10, 22 yards, and an interception. His current statistics: he's 10 for 18, 169 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So in the second half alone, he is 7 for 8. 7 for 8, 147 yards, and 2 touchdowns in the second half alone from the shotgun for Brett Brown. Andre Rivera, who came in alternating at quarterback with Brown in the second half, is 4 out of 5 for 39. So Amboy as a team is 11 out of 13 throwing the football for about 175 yards and 2 scores in the second half. 4:13 to play. And here comes the point after attempt by Jason O'Neill, and again a change at holder for the point after. And a kick by O'Neill, and this one is good. Point after by O'Neill makes it 25-10 Perth Amboy, and they have scored 25 unanswered points. 8-yard run by Andre Grayson, a 58-yard run by Andre Grayson, a 47-yard touchdown catch by Juan Cabrera from Brett Brown, and a 27-yard touchdown catch by Juan Cabrera from Brett Brown. And Perth Amboy has eliminated a 10-point halftime deficit and roared from behind to take a 15-point lead, 25-10. I mentioned before that Perth Amboy has been very competitive this season despite its 2-5 record. 3 of those 5 losses have come from have been by a combined 4 touchdowns. They've been in most of their games. Here's the kickoff by Brown. He toes it, and it comes down to Marrero. Marrero running almost straight up the gut. Perth Amboy trying to pry the ball loose again. And across the 25 to the 27-yard line goes Mike Marrero. That's where East Brunswick sets up 1st and 10 with 4:04 to play. They are in the desperate need of 15 points somehow in a hurry. Mark Mariski, the sophomore, in at quarterback, addresses the troops in the huddle. Matt Kolbeck, top of the screen, wide right. This is Marrero in motion. Mariski looking to throw. The ball is tipped. It's caught by Jimmy Gagnon. Gagnon very close to first down territory. Might be close enough to measure. They're going to mark it just shy to the 36-yard line. So a pickup of 9 on the play for Mariski. Was now 3 for 7 for 33 yards. 3:25 to play. The clock moves. 2nd down and 1. Not so much worried about first downs as they are touchdowns right now. Mariski rolling to his left, stops, throws. It is off the fingertips of Greg Nagy. And it'll bring up a 3rd down and 1. Clock stops on the incomplete pass with 3:12 to go. Marrero checks out of the game. Kolbeck is in. He's wide left. John Chu, top of the screen, is wide right. One man in the backfield is Jimmy Gagnon. The handoff goes to Gagnon straight up the middle, and he's stuffed immediately. See where they mark his forward progress. I don't think he got the first down. And it'll bring up a 4th and 1. No gain on the play for Gagnon. Here's the ball game right here, 2:35 to play. East Brunswick with a 4th and 1, trailing by 15. Full house backfield for Mariski. Calling signals. The handoff to Mineta. Mineta hit at the line of scrimmage. His forward progress, I believe, is going to get him the first down. It's close enough to measure. The officials stop the clock. With his forward progress, he got it. And he did, by the nose of the football. First down, EB. 2:14 to play. They'll give Mineta credit for 1 yard on the carry. Bobby now 8 carries, 91 yards. He's the leading rusher in the ball game. Most of it coming on a 65-yard touchdown run for the first score of the game. Clock moves with 1:55 to go. Mariski calling signals. Drops back to throw under heavy pressure, and he's sacked back at the 30. First man there for Perth Amboy, Eric Salvery, linebacker. Loss of 7. Ball back to the 30-yard line. Second down and 17. Clock moves with 1:22 to play. John Chu is wide to the near side. Fake the handoff. Here's Mariski with room. Gets a couple of blocks. Is driven down by Keith Rackett at about the 39-yard line. Gain of 9 on the play for Mariski, who's got 7 carries for 32 yards. It's a third down and about 8. Need to get to about the 47-yard line. Ball is on the 39. 35 seconds. East Brunswick not in a particular hurry. This one's all but over, except for the shouting. Colbeck goes wide right, top of the screen. Manetta in motion. Mariski drops back. High pitch for Marrero, who corrals it. Marrero's got a first down and more. Marrero across midfield out to about the Perth Amboy 45. Give him 16 yards on the carry for Marrero. That gives him 87 yards on 10 carries. And we've got a timeout on the field. 14 seconds to play. Perth Amboy will win this one. Perth Amboy's second half approach, really the difference. They went to that shotgun formation, started throwing the football all over the field. Really just short passes, little stuff over the middle, screen passes, and it worked. Set up 4 scores. And East Brunswick has been shut out here in the second half after holding a 10-0 lead at the half. From the Perth Amboy 45. And it looked like Nagy jumped off sides at tight end. That'll march the Bears back to midfield. Mariski on the keeper, up the middle, with room, breaks free. Finally knocked down by Andre Rivera to the 38-yard line, and that's the ball game. So a pickup of 12 on the play for Mariski, and he will finish the game. 8 carries for 44 yards. Perth Amboy wins it by the score of 25-10. Here's a quick look at some of your final numbers. The leading rusher for East Brunswick was Bobby Manetta, 8 carries, 91 yards, plus the touchdown. Mike Marrero, 10 carries for 87 yards. Jimmy Gagnon had 10 carries for 48 yards. The quarterback, the sophomore Mariski, had 8 carries for 44 yards. Brian Ackerman carried 3 times for 4 yards. Mariski passing 3 for 8, 33 yards. Perth Amboy, the story really was the second half. The final numbers on Brett Brown unofficially: 10 for 18, 169 yards and 2 touchdowns, and that was after a first half in which he finished 3 out of 10 for 22 yards and an interception. Andre Rivera, who shared some of the shotgun quarterback duties in the second half, finished 4 out of 5 for 39 yards. The favorite target of the game, Juan Cabrera, who had touchdown catches of 27 and 47 yards, and Andre Grayson, who finished with 9 carries, 69 yards, and the 2 touchdowns. Perth Amboy improves to 3-5 on the season. East Brunswick drops to 1-7. Final score once again, Perth Amboy 25, East Brunswick 10. For EBTV, I'm Gordy Deal. We'll see you next time.